Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Yeah, pretty good.
That's so good. I'm so glad that this audio format, you took that long of a pause after Ant phoned me. And now I'm going to add all of these weird pauses in my speaking to keep people engaged.
Uh-huh.
All right, today I want to talk about something slightly different but also related.
Oh, love it.
Which is that Mixer shut down. What's Mixer,
Oh.
Brownie? Enlighten us.
Because I love online gaming so much. I love watching people game. I must know what Mixer is. Mixer was Microsoft's competitor to Twitch.
Right. So, if people don't know, that is a platform for streaming. Well, it's a platform for streaming, but it's most typically used as streaming games, video games. For instance, I love to watch the English simmer play Animal Crossing on Twitch. Because of her, I joined Discord. I'm feeling very, very old in a young person's space, but I'm still young, right? Okay, but the reason I want to talk about Mixer not working, for Mixer shutting down, is because an episode or two ago we spoke about Spotify competing with a monopoly or another big player in the industry. That's essentially what Mixer did against Twitch, but it hasn't worked out. It's kind of the opposite of, well, I mean, we don't know the result of what the Spotify huge investment that's happening right now, but for all intents, it's kind of working so far. Mixer, on the other hand, even though they acquired Ninja, who, I mean, I don't know how we really qualify this stuff, but let's say the biggest streamer, celebrity man. I don't even know.
He was the biggest streamer on Twitch when they
The biggest streamer on Twitch, right? So he cut a deal with Mixer to go across a huge, I don't know how many $1 million to go over there, and I guess that was to attract people to that platform. Pretty big news at the time, but alas, even with Ninja, the power of Ninja, it still has not worked out. So, do you think we need to add any more context, or should we just go straight into what we can learn from it?
Well, let's just dive right in.
What do we do if it doesn't work out? No, not even that. How can we avoid it not working out? What did Mixer do that we should avoid?
I think Mixer was an answer to a question no one was asking.
Mm-hmm.
I made it profound and then I screwed it up.
It was still quite profound.
I don't think enough people who use Twitch, and it's a huge amount of people, are dissatisfied with Twitch to the level that they're like, oh yeah, I'll jump across. I've definitely heard like Twitch have had their problems, and they've had a few controversies in the last sort of 3 or 4 months. Yeah, that they had some issues, but it didn't really. All it sort of ended up being was people going, well, if they keep this up, I'll definitely think about maybe leaving in the future. But I don't think anyone's had any huge complaints.
I don't think so either. And I think to a degree, Twitch was an answer to YouTube problems. So people who were maybe streaming on YouTube or just not even doing it live, but recording themselves, made the move to Twitch. YouTube's now coming back with YouTube, I'm not sure what they're calling it, live streaming, which Ninja actually did not long ago. Since he's been released from Mixer, he did a live stream on YouTube, and it was like, I want to say, the biggest live stream that there's ever been. like
Yeah,
170,000 people all online at the same time or something.
which is wild because Ninja is so irritating.
It is really interesting, the people who are famous on the internet, isn't it?
Oh, sure is.
But I completely agree. Twitch, as far as I know, I haven't heard anything really bad about the platform. I know there's been some controversial creators on there, but as a platform, and I know also a big part of the communities there are also across Discord, and they may also have subreddits, and so maybe it's not an all-inclusive, contained platform for communities. But yeah, I don't think there's been any problems that are like, we need to go elsewhere. That being said, YouTube's coming back with live streaming, and Facebook adding a streaming service as well. So it's hard to say.
Facebook bought the remnants of Mixer.
Oh, okay.
Facebook bought the carcass.
Okay, cool.
And I think Facebook has a real opportunity to take a big bite out of all of it simply because so many people are on Facebook.
People are already there.
Yeah, and I think that's the advantage that Facebook has over all of these things is the ease of integration within Facebook's ecosystem.
For sure, but by the same token, they also have Facebook, I want to say it's called Watch, which I have never once used.
Oh, yeah. It's one of those things where you accidentally swipe onto it, and it's like, like, what's this weird part of Facebook? And then you
why have I never seen this page before? And I don't know anyone who does use the Facebook Watch video watching platform that they have. So I don't even think it necessarily will be a winner on Facebook. I really think Twitch is doing well. And then YouTube is the competitor. Like, do we need a third player? So what we learn from it is make sure there's something in it for someone that's worth it, for someone to swap platforms or whatever the case is on whatever your service or product might be.
And I think you've got to, it is a bit like the whole YouTube, Spotify thing going on at the moment, is that a lot of people who went to Twitch because they felt like they didn't have a home on YouTube. Not necessarily, like YouTube very much has the technology. They've got the technology and all of that, but a lot of people felt like they weren't welcome. A lot of gamers felt like they weren't welcome. They went to Twitch specifically for that. And now I go into this kind of thing in great depth. But now, I think it'll take a long time for Twitch to hit a critical mass of people who make other people feel like they don't belong there. Like they've got a long way to go.
Yeah, because guess what? Everyone who uses Twitch is a fucking nerd. Even if you're the coolest person on Twitch, you're still a gamer, man.
Seriously.
Like, yeah, I don't know. We're just all big nerds, man.
Oh, just massive nerds.
Can everyone just leave us alone so we can have our nerd parties and, dress up as our favourite characters and have our LAN party?
Well, I think it's an interesting dynamic that you can track. I think this is something that's happened it happened on YouTube. It's happened in comic books. It's happened with movies. Is that for years and years and years and years, it was so uncool. Like, if you're a Star Wars fan, you were such a nerd. Like, you were in these little nerd worlds. There were all the kids that were picked on and beaten up, and that this was their little escape. And in the last 15 years, all of this stuff has become really popular. And I think that is a lot of that sentiment of this was our space, and it's been invaded by all basically like the cool kids who used to bully us, drove people away from that. And I think like Twitch was really smart in being like, well, we have a home for you, gentle nerds. We have somewhere for you to be. And you know, it'll just be. It's just one of those things as these underground niche things sort of become part of the collective, collective consciousness of the mainstream. People will just want to move, and it's more about, well, what does my product or service provide that sort of a disenfranchised person might want. Oh my God, Padme! Oh, this?
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of Star Wars, you nerd.
Oh,
cool dog's name. I say with absolute sincerity because I chose it. Anywho, it's funny you say that about Star Wars too, is because I think it went from like total nerds back in the day, and then the prequels is like, well, if you like those, you're worse than a nerd, you're a loser too. And now with the new trilogy, it's like, if you like that, I don't know, you're absolute scum of the earth. So I don't know.
Oh, sorry.
I don't know. I don't know why I said that. I've got nothing to add.
I think it's fascinating because a lot of people, a lot of these things were. I don't know if this is going too off the rails for this podcast. A lot of these places were spaces for usually like guys that were real losers and they didn't have anything else. And slowly and surely it's been like this war of attrition. And I mean, if I was in high school, I never would have thought that the Marvel universe would be one of the biggest film properties in history.
Yeah.
It's like you were a nerd if you liked the excellent and far better than any other version Spider-Man movies. Tobey
Maguire, Kirsten Dunst for the win, baby.
OG.
I don't think you were a nerd to like those. I remember those being very popular.
I feel like that was like the start of it.
It was definitely the start. It's like nothing compared to what it is now.
Yeah, and it's just become popular. And, there's a lot of people who are really disenfranchised by the fact that they had a space that now all the cheerleaders love Thanos.
Yeah, for sure. But it's also the reality of gaming is esports is the future. Like, esports is what it's all going to be about. I think it's still in that very, very early adopter stage. Like, if anyone is listening and wants to get on something that's going to be massive, get into gaming.
Definitely.
Like, football, that's done. Basketball, finished. I'm going to say this right to the camera. Finished. Sorry, GaryVee, but the Jets won't even matter by the time you can afford to buy them.
Oh. Boy.
Well, I mean, I'm not wrong. And basically, I'm going to immediately after we do this podcast, jump onto the Google machine and find out how I can invest in a esports league. Anyway, I don't know how we got to this point of the conversation, but I think we should wrap it up there. That's about all the knowledge I really have of gaming, so I'll leave while I still seem a little bit cool. I'm not enough of a geek to fit in on Twitch. Not enough of one to fit in normal cool people. Such is the
You're,
curse.
you're on Discord though now.
Yeah, but I have absolutely no idea how to use it. I just get notifications from random people with weird stories, and I'm like, I didn't sign on to learn this much about you, internet stranger. I reckon she'll be quiet enough just to say goodbye. Well, I don't know where else we can go with this conversation aside from get into live streaming. Make sure that there is a question being asked if you have an answer. I think that's important with any service, any product that you're selling. Do that market research. Listen very closely to potential clients, customers, audience. What are they actually searching for? What do they need that other companies, monopolies, whatever the case is, what aren't they giving them? How to fill a gap. Make sure there is a gap to fill. Otherwise, you're just putting things somewhere. So instead of putting them in a hole, you're just making a hill. And no one wants to climb a hill when they could walk on the flat. That's my closing statement. Thank you for coming to my Z Talk. Well, my name's Zoe Wimper. You can call me GaryVee if you want to. Peace out, doggies.
Peace on the street.
Anything you would like to add?
I don't think I could add anything to that. I think it's just possibly the perfect sentence. No one wants to walk up the hill when you can walk on the flat. A story
Exactly. Don't want to go up a hill. You don't want to fall in a ditch either. You just want the flat.
Be on the flat. Be like Denmark and be really flat.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, way to put that in right as it did a ding. Okay. Stop.